just imperialism. There's nothing else. There's no wider geopolitical plays, because on every front it went against Russia. This just cements that more. This will be a thing that is in Russian history books. How this plays out long term doesn't alter course in Ukraine soon. It may be that they knocks Russia out of our spot. They have to go sit at that lower stakes table. Policy being an international game and everybody's cheating. There are different examples. And right now, Russia is sitting at the highest stakes in the place. If this conflict drags on, it will they end up losing their seat. It's not necessarily about the benefit militarily to the alliance. It's more about the message and geopolitical positioning that is being sent to Russia. It's just a thought.
Now for the Visa Impact.
What a word. Might be time to... And if it weren't for Sid... No. Is that right? I know you'll do right by us, Clive.
Nearly collapsed back there. Clive. What I truly like. But teach her medicine. And no sooner have your... While I may not have Gav's nose. That's what I'm worried about.
I do.
Take care.
Tyre's tea stopped the fits. Greetings, Lord Marquis. My lord.
I am.
I do not doubt it.
Thank you, Yute.
May you return safely. His Grace and I. At first, it was my duty to him. May the Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart.
Couldn't have been easy for her making the journey from Ash. What with her belly so fat?
You'd be surprised at the lengths a mother is willing to go for her child.
You look just like a princess. And you look like the princess's sister.
All this time, my heart has wandered hither and thither in search of the perfect companion. When all along he was here, standing right beside me.
They make an oil down at the docks in Aldale that's as slippery as the sea nasties they render it from. With that and the bone I told you about, I shall be able to finish the prototype.
Normally, I wouldn't recommend going anywhere near an adamantus, let alone one that's had a few centuries to let its temper simmer. They're mean bastards, and they only get meaner with age. Why do you think the village of Old Bidser was abandoned?
Fancy a look at the list, do you? You watch yourself out there, all right?
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away.
There's something about it.
You alright? You off then?
Enthroned in sable skies, chaos in
You don't know what you're talking about. The odor's what gives Chance's stew its, depth. And that's what makes it superior to any old lizard livers.
Please, have you even tried the fried mortress? Taste, smell, texture. It beats your beloved stew hands down on every count. Now that's a masterpiece.
Savings funds and the like. It also cascades through all derivatives, which are financial products that take their value directly from the value of the bond. This creates a knock-on effect. Huge segments of the economy turn out to be dead. But as a rotten tree falls, it still shrinks and crushes anything. It was a failure precipitated by a active fraud.
Good morrow to you, my friend. If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it. Did you learn everything you needed?
And the cherry on top, the people largely responsible for all they could count on a bailout from the government because no matter how rotten they were very large. This naked display of creative fraud created what would be fertile soil for both anti-capitalist movements and hyper-capitalist movements. Both groups of people who saw themselves as being screwed over by the system, with one group diagnosing the problem as the system's inherently corrupt and corrupting incentives, and the other the consequence of too much regulation. Anarcho-capitalist argument is that in a less constrained market, there would be more incentive to call foul. The regulation had only succeeded in creating an in-group that was effectively able to conspire without competition. Of course, this argument fails to consider that a substantial number of people within the system
It's oil.
in fact get fabulously wealthy.
After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all.
Into this environment in 2009, arrived Bitcoin, all electronic peer-to-peer the stock of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency
This should be enough.
paraded as an end to banks and centralized currency. This is what will form the bedrock, both philosophical and technological, that NFTs will be on top of. It's a bit of a hike from here to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, so I guess get ready for that. Strap in. As we get into this, we're going to have to deal with a lot of vocabulary. We need to deal with a lot of complexity. Some of this is the result of systems that are very technically intricate. Some of this is from systems that are well designed, deliberately obtuse in order to make them difficult to understand, and thus appear illegitimate. The entire subject is connected to wheels that are notoriously prone to high debate and conversation. Pure tech online, it inherits a lot of bad habits, with a reputation for making things
Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise talker, where would you hide? It looks like we found him. You're finished.
And so the only consumer market that proved to be a viable use was buying and selling prohibited drugs.
I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype.
Transaction times mitigated by receiving LSD in the mail. And as far as banking is concerned, Bitcoin was designed to solve problems created by the banking industry, only to be the new medium by which they operated. The principal offering was a revolution, but at best a changing of the guard. The gripe is not with the outcomes of 2008, but the fact that you had to be well connected in order to get in on the grip in 2006. Change of the guard is
Here, take a look at my wares. Of course. Anything else? Fine choice. Anything else? A fine choice. Anything else? It's a deal.
But he also sits on the boards of Coinbase, a large cryptocurrency exchange that makes money by being the gatekeeper, collecting a fee on all entries and exits to the crypto economy, and Oculus VR, which is owned by...
Got anything else for me? Ah, not bad. It's a deal. Got anything else for me? Take care.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father.
This is a really important...
So you're watching, love? I just noticed that you're... Okay. Because this is just a... This is a side quest, but I think this is a pretty important one.
Yes, I have it here.
The will of the Duke.
If you would do us the honor, my lord.
I know that I ask much of you in this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for our duchy and our family. Yet even should we succeed in subduing the savages and winning back Drake's breath, the threat of the Blight still looms, and only with all of Rosaria striving as one might we overcome it. I have made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles that stand in our way that it shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength, the courage, and the will to do so. This shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another, that you might be reminded of the love and the faith that I hold for both of you, your father, Elwyn.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of? His plans for the duchy, your grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the Twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
It is true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
I hope it is better that you explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it. Or a part of it, at least.
And where is this woman?
Who is this woman?
In the archive, Your Grace.
Is it someone I know?
Shall we then?
The scraps you're after.
Have you noticed the Elder has been caught?
Not a scratch on them.
This is the Required Tree, an archive where we of the Undying collect and collate our findings.
Acolyte stationed across Valistia reported a curious change in the primeval structures we have come to refer as monoliths following the fall of Drake's tail and the change in the skies. Allow me to present my preliminary findings of our archaeological investigations into these monoliths most near at hand. We were able to visually confirm that the activation of the structure in the northern reaches of the Valkyrie, but a sandstorm forced our temporary retreat. We will make a second attempt when the wind drops. At Draco's Deep, our team was able to make direct contact with the monolith. However, no further change was observed upon touching its surface, nor upon dealing it several stout blows with both fist and blade. Whatever the purpose of its activation, it would appear to be other than that of the defensive echoes, or we would have encountered among previous relics of the fallen and their predecessors. We shall continue our investigations of both these monoliths proper, and of any historical writings that might refer to them, and inform your lordship forthwith should they produce any discoveries of note. May the Phoenix's flame burn forever in your heart. So yeah, that's talking about the teleporter things. So yeah, they are totally diegetic. That's cool. What is this one?
The Undying are not the only secret fellowship in this realm, you know. There are others, each working for their own ends. Why, not so very long ago, a society committed to discovering how one might cast magics without a catalyst was found to be operating throughout Valisthea. They were denounced as heretics, rooted out, and driven from our shores, never to be seen again.
Alright.
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
That's a bit silly, but that's okay. I have been tracking this griffin for 20 years in hopes that a person that I knew was probably dead could one day kill it. Alright, let's just do that one. Just go grab that and then double back.
eyes peeled, Joshua.
Not gonna. Oh, there it is. Simurg.
There it
That's
is.
a name drop. I like it.
House Rossfield.
See how you like flying with a tornado. That is crazy.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Kiss you on your neck.
Oh, thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
And the
Yeah.
Heartstone claimed.
No problem.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame, is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith.
They really should have put that stone in, like, not a griffin's chest. That's a really weird quest. Like, maybe a ruin somewhere?
Pray, take them.
Also, it's kind of weird that our family
Heartstone
heirloom is
harder
just a
and more
couple of...
enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And
Well, then how isn't the world full of them if they're just coming out of dead griffins then, if they're unbreakable?
It's a message. Father knew
Every
we had one of
griffin
these
leaves
deep
behind an
inside, like
unbreakable
outside the
heart.
duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision.
The griffin rots away and the heart just remains, and eventually the world is just covered in griffin
Only if we
hearts.
stood together, as Phoenix and S.H.I.E.L.D., as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you.
As much as that sounds like a joke, that's actually what limestone is, basically.
That he would always be with you.
It's the shells of ancient shell creatures that couldn't get eaten. So they all got...
Forgive me, my lady, but
they basically became miles and miles thick.
Undying told me that after Father died,
until everything
Mother
is just
claimed
walking
all of the
on.
ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would
Sorry.
surely not have overlooked them. So,
not that you're disturbed by my talking or anything, just my brain is kind of in two different places. This quest is just very weird. I hope these bands are good. I hope that they're actual equipment that I can wear, and I hope they're good.
For both of you.
But, you
And his
know.
hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewellery be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late.
Well, you should have warned
When
him
word of the
better.
fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
and thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you for thanking me.
For coming back to us. For giving my service meaning.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is.
And then they're not wearing them.
And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
That's an oversight that should have been
If you would permit
adjusted.
me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff?
Wait.
Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay Father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
You're the one who butchered those Akashic fiends, aren't you? We're in your debt. Might only be a matter of time.
Good day. Here you are. Thank you. Certainly. Farewell, traveller.
What's this way, I wonder? It is inaccessible currently.
Breakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
Save the world? Of course. We've overcome Father's political enemies. That I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
It's already dead. Alright. Yeah, I don't know what is down that inaccessible hallway. We'll have to see if it ever becomes accessible.
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never
They
lost
definitely
heart.
should have made it so that you could swap between Clive and Joshua at this point. Like, probably once Ifrit risen, because once Ifrit risen is a thing, they don't seem, Joshua hasn't gone away as a party member. So at that point, you should be able to like swap between them. It would be interesting to see the like, because Joshua would need a slightly different like use for his AP, like his AP abilities menu would be different. Like all Phoenix focused with like a bunch of extra Phoenix powers.
Of men.
But that's not the game they made.
I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
That helmet looks really small. Like, I
done
don't think it would
himself.
fit on either of their heads.
Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward, then?
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Clive's chambers. Joining hands with Joshua. Okay. Neat, I guess? No, I don't think it was... Oh, yes. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's a new quest there, but I'm gonna do some of the other quests, because I have a lot of quests.
What are you looking for? May Gilbert smile upon you.
Do you see that too?
Oh, he's talking about Origin. You can see it in the distance. That is awesome.
What is it?
What is it?
I'm scared.
I'm scared. Yeah, that's the city of Twinside. Remember Twinside? It's in the air now. It took off like a bat out of hell. Alright. Speaking of bat out of hell, let's go.
Run like the wind.
Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal. Oblige him. This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, Finish him.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you
Pardon?
want. It doesn't change who I am. Or the urgency of the message I bring.
Yeah, I see them.
My uncle has a plan to
I'll
right the
cook them up
realm,
later.
and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not
Just a
always
moment,
be the
sorry.
right ones,
Can't really hear you.
I know
Talking, Mom.
I made them for the right reasons. For so long,
What was that, Mom?
so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along.
Yep.
Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we
Yep.
must stand together.
That's why you have that stary
Even if
strip
it be
on.
beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Alright, well, if that's the case, then that's the case. But that's why you needed it on for 2
Words I
weeks.
expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right.
Yep.
You are no ordinary outlaw.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll never
Sorry,
hear
I
the
had
end
to
of this.
refresh my
All right.
ice while he was talking.
I'll
to
start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps.
I'm flattered.
What is that?
I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
What are you
You may
watching?
know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Beggars can't be choosers. I suppose
I'm
we'll
sorry.
have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very
Yep.
well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
It's fine.
My lord Marquis.
If you get bored enough that you want to watch something else, though, just let me know.
Escort the field marshal to his manor.
I'm not saying that's what is happening, but if it
See if my
does,
associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
because I can there's other stuff I can play that is less requiring of your attention. Mm-hmm.
An envoy. I'm
I
not
know.
sure I'm the
I'm
man
just
to talk anyone round.
just saying.
I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
I mean, maybe. I was not expecting Quentin to be part of this quest, but alright, let's go talk to Quentin. Quentin is not the one I would choose for this, but he's the one the game wants me to go to. I would probably say... Well, maybe Quentin. He is a bit too psycho, I think, though. I don't really trust him after what I've heard him say.
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on, then. Propose.
Be an emissary for the Dalmekian Republic.
You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tuns filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
It's funny watching the game try to wrap itself up.
Where do you need me?
At least it's doing
Marshal
it.
Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Got any more of those special...
Nope. No more special elixirs.
I'm nervous. Is it all right? Well met, Sid. This is the initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Master.
Please, just Sid. There are no masters here. Your life is your own.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Sid. The sergeant says you'll be evaluating me at my trial.
To become a scout, yes. You are aware of the dangers inherent in that role.
But I swore I'd face him. Just like the man who saved my life. Gav, it was him who found me and freed me. No magic, no support, just one man and his nose. Came and sniffed me out. It taught me what one man can do if he puts his mind to it. And I've been training ever since, so that one day I can be someone's saviour, just like Gav was mine.
I'm sure he'd be flattered. You clearly have good intentions. And it sounds like you're under no illusions. Stick to this path and you'll make a fine curse breaker.
So, what? Have I passed?
You haven't even started yet. Now listen. Not far from here is an Imperial lookout, Eastwatch. The guards there record all their sightings in a logbook. You are to find it and bring it here.
And bring it here, right. Anything else?
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing the logbook would be quite sufficient. You will need to assess the situation, determine a point of entry, create a distraction and effect an escape, all without being discovered and thrown into an Imperial oubliette.
Ember, Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything. It's essential that you know your limits.
Know my limits, right. I won't let you down.
I imagine this kid is going to get captured anon.
It shouldn't be as dangerous as I made out. But keep a weather eye on him all the same, would you?
On my way.
Oh god, do I have to follow him?
All right, Ember. Impress me.
Whew, alright.
These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready.
Yeah, but... I guess those are beasts. Okay.
Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Ember, draw your sword!
I can't!
Then run!
Gav has fought plenty of these,
You'll have to go through me.
but I got it. You're fine. You're fine, little curse breaker. I will keep you safe. It's kind of like the this build is really silly. It's just like, what if you use only the ultimates? It just brutally destroys everything.
Ember, are you... Gone. Of course. Scouts really are a rare breed. Back to Northreach it is, then.
Well, maybe he will get the thing. That's what matters. Kestrel's beak braid. Down thrust damage by 10%. Okay.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Oh, it's outside.
Seems the Duke's had a change of heart.
We've got more pips than
I hear the Duke's agreed to let us keep our land.
I didn't expect you back so soon. Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job?
Yeah, he had to go get the thing.
I believe this is the logbook you tasked me with retrieving.
Eh? How did you... Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your skin.
That's exactly what he was supposed to do.
Wasn't that what you asked me to do? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you there, Nazaire. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid, he
did what he thought was best. And now I have to decide whether I agree.
Of course. We'll await your evaluation back at the hideaway. Don't you leave my sight.
Yes, Sergeant.
This won't be an easy decision.
I mean, in my opinion, as long as he knew it was me, as long as it's me, you can abandon me to my fate, because I will bloody annihilate anybody, but if it's anybody else, you should probably fight with them. Alright, one of these is... What were the quests? One of them was like a bearer academy that turned bearers into weapons. Like a cruel academy that I have to go... I think it's probably this one. And I don't remember what the other one was. Actually, I have three quests here. Let's go for Litany of Errors first, actually. Now let's just Chalky-Bow up.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia.
Fly, Ambrosia. Ooh, fucking wild lich. Let's just avoid that.
can walk from here.
Yeah, good call.
This must be the orphanage. Hopefully the registry is still here. Conditioning. This is nothing short of torture.
Juvenile bearers are to be granted the opportunity to give themselves in service to the state as soldiers. Trainees succumbing to the crystal's curse or otherwise perishing are to be disposed of. The graveyard is strictly reserved for the uncursed. Bare disposal within its bounds is punishable by death.
Disposed of? Herman wasn't exaggerating. It's a wonder he survived this place. I need to find that registry.
I have recently learned that my daughter was among the children turned to stone by the brutal training I subjected them to. I had not so much as thought of her since handing her over to the authorities as a babe, but inquiries with the military confirmed it. It was her. I had been torturing my own flesh and blood, and now I see her everywhere. Today, one of the children smiled at me in the hope of receiving a few scraps from my table. It was her smile, the smile she inherited from her mother, the mother I killed for giving birth to a bearer. Their ghosts have all come back to haunt me. My daughter is my wife. Wow, what a piece of shit.
This reads like a suicide note. Did the director go through with his plan? There's only one way to find out. Forked white tree. This must be the place. Could he really be buried here? There's something hidden among the roots. Let's see. This must be the registry.
Lithification would be curse. Emaciation would be starved to death. Succumb to conditioning would be beaten or burned to death. Discipline for attempted flight would basically mean the same thing. Nice.
So many names. This place was a slaughterhouse. Where is the architect of all this misery?
Ah, he's turned to cash it.
It was only a matter of time, I suppose.
Well.
This place is cursed.
It's the runner of an orphanage here that was basically torturing bearer kids to try and turn them into, like, weapons. No one important to the story. It's for a side quest, but it's a real jerk. He's dead already, though. I killed him pretty quick. Now I'm just killing his bodyguard.
Too slow. I'm done here. Let's get the registry back to Herman.
Yeah, it was Wolude. It was in Wolude, and it was an orphanage that tortured bears, basically, to try to make them stronger and teach them how to weaponize their powers. But really, they just tortured bears. Like little kids, basically.
It's over.
Yeah, it's a little harder to follow the quests because I basically picked them all up at once, which I didn't do for the rest of the game. So, but yeah, it's all right.
The entire village looks abandoned. Now, which house would a bookworm live in?
This quest is an inconvenient truth. Let's see if how journal. Vivian writes to Clive asking, oh, that's right. This is the book it's a book that is illegal to own because it's about the original history of the bearers. Like why the bear, it's the forbidden history of the bearers. And this guy was a book collector, and then this place got wiped out once Primogenesis, the sky thing, happened, and Barnabas started turning all of his villages Akashic. Botany of Banes.
His interests were certainly varied.
Folklorist Fabulary. The Moogle. No spirit or sprite appears more often in Velestian folk tales than the humble Moogle. Though they are occasionally painted as mischievous souls akin to pixies or imps, most stories depict them as clumsy yet congenial spirits who delight in helping mankind with their daily labors. They are said to have sweet tooths, leading to the common superstition that one must not leave cakes or other sweetmeats uncovered overnight, lest naught remain but crumbs come morning. In appearance, they are described as being covered in head to toe in soft white fur, excepting small dark wings by which they are somehow able to take flight, and the brightly colored pom-poms that protrude from the tops of their heads. And yet, there is one detail regarding the Moogle that most find more remarkable than even the orb that tops its brow: the fact that the creatures actually exist. Preposterous, I hear you cry. Everybody knows that Moogles are the stuff of legend. I quite agree, but every legend has its basis in truth, and in the case of the Moogle, the fact that not so dissimilar to the fiction, ancient bestiaries list the white mole whose feet do not touch the ground among the beasts of the realm, and the illustration beside the name, why, it is none other than a Moogle. Of course, it is true that the creatures are not known to still survive in the Twins in the modern day. Perhaps their miniature wings carried them to other climes, perhaps they were hunted to extinction, or perhaps, just perhaps, they do still live among us, hidden away, far from human view. Yeah, they can basically just be invisible if they want to. The one in the hideout, only Clive can see. There we are. The emergence of the first magic adepts was widely heralded as a gift from the gods. Indeed, the title, which those gifts came to commonly be known, is most likely a contraction of bearer of the heavenly blessing, the wording used by the tribunes of the time. Those born with the blessing were lauded as living crystals and granted high office and plentiful reward for their status as chosen ones. Over the year, this reverence for their kind would become a full-fledged religion led by the bearers themselves, a development that would prove fateful. The divers nations of the time were unanimous of their disapproval of the founding of the church. While the authorities had for years welcomed bearers into the positions of power in their own structures of state, they were mistrusting of an organization led by bearers for bearers. Efforts were immediately made to chasten the church and its followers, banning members from holding office, evicting adherents from their homes, and breaking up the meeting by force. The church responded by forming a volunteer army to resist this persecution, and yet it continued, creating a cycle of ever-increasing bloodshed and rancor, and a growing rift between those born with the blessing and those without. What began with beatings and street clashes would eventually spill over into an all-out war that consumed the greater part of the Twins for nigh a generation and decimated the population of men and bears both. The deluge of blood that stained the land crimson and left an even more lasting mark upon the minds of the Velestian people. After the bears' last resistance was crushed, the nation of Velestia came together to sign the Continental Accord that initiated the system of slavery that persists across the realm to this day. Its well-known phrase, "bearers are other than human," has its roots in the bitter war of years before, being the unblessed's only excuse for their calamitous refusal to allow the blessed to decide their own destinies.
This is it. But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
Leaving so soon, stranger? We've been watching you. From a distance, so to speak.
Subtle. I know who you are.
Then we need not waste time on introductions. Hand me the book. Leave it in our care and return to your life.
Your care? Do you mean to burn it or bury it?
That is not my decision to make. But by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse. I won't let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves at an impasse.
No, we do
Very
not.
well. The book can just as easily be pried from your dead hand.
An impasse implies that we can't move anywhere. I can move right through you guys.
Let's see, shall we?
Oh, you brought a big stick. Okay. Oh, alright. Well, in that case... Bit of darkness right in the face. I had a, you know, the Blitzball? I had to play through the Blitzball this morning. It was the first thing I had to do. And I had a game that felt like a proper sport. Like, it was actually quite
It
interesting.
lays out in no uncertain terms
It played out like an actual sport, which Blitzball doesn't normally
the
do.
shameful history of the persecution and oppression of a gifted few by a giftless many. Would you say that this interpretation was correct?
No.
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, but your wits are dull.
Your wits are dull.
There is no correct interpretation of history.
Finally,
That a
you said
series
something
of events
smart.
took place may be proved beyond a doubt. But there can be no single, immutable explanation as to why they came to pass. It is a question of numbers and of belief. If enough people believe that a set of events occurred for a reason, that belief becomes the truth.
So you're trying to control the truth?
We are trying to protect people from themselves, from knowledge that would bring them naught but pain. That is all. You may keep the book, for now. The world is small. We shall meet again. Until then.
Wait. Damn it. Let's get this back to Vivian. Perhaps she can explain what that was all about.
kiss you
Doris
on
is
your
waiting
lips.
for me near Balmung Dark. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashik. I need to hurry. There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates, no. It's a different story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with the Kashik. Most likely guards left behind when the wardens ran. If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he may already be.
Don't give up hope just yet, but let's move quickly. Let me check the ground floor. If this thing is there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Sid, stay safe.
Just how bad are the floods inside?
Where she believes an acquaintance of hers might be interred. Find and capture. So rescue some bears.
Bad enough to turn a bearer.
That sounds like a good idea.
Not. We're risking a lot just being here. Better keep my eyes open for signs of life.
Purpose is is to train a Kuza beast for deployment in the field. Captive bears have been provided solely for the pursual of the aforementioned purpose. Okay.
So this place was no ordinary prison. And I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled.
So there's some kind of Kuza beast. Not sure what that is. That is not a word I recognized. Could be a behemoth. Could be a Kurl. It's probably got the shape of something I fought before. They're probably not going to throw a new body shape at me this late in the game. So, I'm not sure.
Quiet.
No sign of any bearers yet. I hope you have better luck downstairs.
Yeah, no, I think they fed those bears to a fucking monster, so I don't think we're gonna find any bears here, but we'll see. Yeah, how about a bunch of this lightning? The Kuza has long been recognized as an especially aggressive species. This being the case, it was hoped that successful deployment on the battlefield might be a means of inflicting heavy casualties on the enemy. The beast has proven incapable of distinguishing between allied and enemy combatants. As such, the deployment alongside regular troops is not recommended. It's proposed instead that bearer captives be employed in order to draw enemy focus, and the beast then driven into the fray in order to achieve maximum benefit, with minimal loss to Willowed or lives. So basically, they were just using using the bearers as bear grenade bait. Send in the bears, the enemies focus on the bears, and then we send in the bear. Recent supply shortages left us with insufficient resources to feed the Kuza. Fortunately, the creature was observed to kill and consume the bears. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They were feeding bears to it.
Of course they were.
This is even worse than I'd feared.
That's exactly what I thought.
Hopefully things are looking better upstairs.
Yeah, no, it's
I should
not.
go and see how Doris is getting on.
Guarantee you it's not looking better upstairs.
No lock downstairs. But I did find out that this place was more than just a prison. Something far more sinister was happening here.
I know. I've been reading some of these documents, and it can't be true, can it?
Oh, yeah.
Bearers die every day in service of their masters, but this is so much worse. Pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And all in order to bring about more death. And not just those who could fight, but the elderly, children even. And those who wouldn't or couldn't were disposed of.
Killed and fed to the beast.
I'm afraid it means they were fed to the monstrosity they kept here.
Then we're too late. And I was a fool to bring you here.
Don't say that. Did you find anything else?
A key. But it doesn't fit any of the locks on this floor.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. There's a corridor I haven't searched yet. Finish up here, then come and find me when you're ready.
All right. I'll be there in a moment.
Let's see what we can find down here.
Alright, well, there is a survivor.
Survivor? And she sounds close.
I mean, yes, she's right there, but
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards, they're still here. But something's wrong with them. Everyone else was eaten by the monster.
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger. You ready?
Ready when you are. You poor thing.
No, I gotta go kill that monster.
Did Jadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. Distracted it so I could run away. He must have sent you. He promised to free the others too. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he? He wouldn't be here otherwise.
Chadwick.
Was that?
Monster's back! Chadwick!
We have to get out of here.
Doris, keep the girl safe.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live.
Nope.
Not if it's got a taste for bearers.
Fucking, if it's got a taste for any kind of human. Oh my god, that thing. Huh. Okay. I mean, it's a behemoth. That was on the list, but that thing looks like, huh. All right. Okay, I feel more confident now that I know it's an A. Let's just get this thing dead.
The beast will wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison. I can't let it happen.
Oh, great. Okay, managed to block most of that.
Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I think.
No.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate ways. He was here. Do you think that creature?
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe next to him.
Chadwick. You fool.
We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sacrifice to have been in vain.
No, of course not. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering from her ordeal.
She is. Slowly but surely. She's far tougher than she looks. I thank the flames we found her. If we hadn't...
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out what happened to him. How he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a brother.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past. If you don't mind, that is.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill and obey. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easily. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Haida Marie is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick, and for all of us.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be counting on
you. We need Edda to have her baby so that we can have a bearer that we don't... That the first specifically unbranded bearer. We see it's a bearer, we know it's a bearer, we don't brand it. Alright. Do I have any other quests outside? Or have I done them all? Looks like I've done them all. Okay, so... Okay, let's go do those. Turn in the registry first.
I hear that you traveled to Ash, Cid. Did you by any chance recover the names of my fallen friends?
I did. Yes.
If I may, the bearer registry. brutal man. He got no worse than he deserved.
The registry was all I found. There was no sign of a body, nor any record of what happened to the children after the orphanage closed.
I pray that at least some of them survived. All their names are here. The ones we lost. My friends. My light in those dark times. I can still remember their faces. Like it was yesterday. Children who were taken
Clive
from their
just needs
bunks
to
in the
give
morning,
all of his curse breakers
never
a
to
hug.
return. No
He just needs to.
explanation, never
That should just be a thing. Like, just the curse breakers.
Why did I make it out alive?
Where, like, you could just
So
walk
many
up to
others
them
died
and
in
just
that
hold
awful
square.
place.
And you just, like, wordlessly just hug them. You're just like, it's okay.
Won't bring them back. Honor their memory.
They've all been so tortured.
That way, at least. Never truly gone.
Thank you.
They all just need a hug. Every single one of
I'm
them.
going to write a book. An account of the horrors of Badbach. And the spirit of those its custodians sought to crush. All of Valisthea will know of our suffering. And in the name of those I lost, I will not let it happen again.
Neither will I.
These records would have been buried for all eternity, were it not for you. Thank you.
Whew, 1000 AP, I'll take it. I need it. Uh, 1000 gets me this. Alternatively, don't quite have enough for the upgraded Zentetsuken. So I think I stick with that. And there's like nothing else, like I need to upgrade that. I need to upgrade that. This. This, maybe? Yeah, I need to upgrade that. I could also upgrade this and swap it in for one of the others. Maybe Dancing Steel, like if I get rid of Dancing Steel and instead, no, don't have enough to master it, so I would have to use the Phoenix instead of Odin, and I'd rather use Odin, so Dancing Steel. Yep. It is a build. There's thought that went into it. That's the important thing. Alright, let's go talk to Mididol. Give her shell and her oil so that she can make an airship. She's... Dear Mididol, enclosed is a turtle shell, 2 things of oil, and your ship. Please make it fly.
Mid? Tell me this is all you need.
I went out there for oil and I got tallow, which
save the world or something.
makes me think that it was some kind of whale oil.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realised I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0.
And
a cogwheel. Just a tiny one.
Wait.
That's the problem. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
Wait.
The
children. When they took apart your scales, there was a tiny brass gear.
That is pretty funny.
Now that I think about it, they didn't use it when we put the scales back together.
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
That's funny. Okay, time to go find that thing I missed. That's a great setup and come on. Give me that cog that we used.
Is Mid still hiding from
Did
us?
some kind of monster eat it that I gotta go kill?
She's fine. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? What is it? What is it? Is it an airship? I bet it's an airship!
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special, something only you three can provide. A brass gear. A tiny one. One that might fit on, say, a set of scales?
Oh, the one you forgot! We remember!
We saved it, just in case. A bag of bits.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can find. All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds, just in case.
That's good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear? We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about your hoard. Just in case.
Thanks, Sid.
Well, did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work? It's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own, but with the right cog in the right place. Well, you just wait and see. That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flight and it won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes, children, their mums, and their dads.
Are you reasoning us out of an airship, Mid? That's not your job.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
I don't know how she would fabricate that. Like, she had the other engines made in Canberra,
Felt the wind in my hair.
and Canberra is fucking wrecked.
It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out.
Yeah, the game really doesn't need an airship.
Picture it now.
Like, it doesn't even really fit into the story to have
General
one.
Squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
It only really had the engine-powered ship as just kind of like a nod to Final Fantasy. It barely needed that either. It just kind of served as a bit of a Deus Ex. She might get the airship working, but I don't think so.
If I'm putting this
I
engine at
think
the end
they
of a treasure
just-
hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all.
Uh-huh.
My dad
Well,
always said,
maybe she will get it
dream
working.
big.
But
But it ain't the size of a
if
dream
it
that's important.
if
is
it exists, it will only
Believe it,
be
it's a
like
good one.
a background
got a fair few
object
good uns left
as
in me.
opposed to a full mechanic, which it would be cool if it was. Like Final Fantasy, part of it is getting an airship and flying around, but you know, that has been a difficult thing to do for quite a while. Like even Final Fantasy X had a menu-based airship. Like once you got the airship, you just kind of chose where you go. So they just kind of like, they don't need it anymore. They've written a different way for a Cid to get around than an airship. Alright. That looks like... Not sure. In any case, I'm pretty sure if I fast travel, it'll be faster. Because the loading times are so short now. Alright, so one of the turn-ins is Byron. Letting him know... Let me look up real quick why I'm talking to Byron. Lord Byron has a plan to bring in order to the realm. That's right, he wants to unite the Republic, the Rosarians, and the Simbrecki. Because, you know, they're living in a post-apocalypse without Mother Crystals and they need to figure shit out. There needs to be a new order.
I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his, but yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
Okay.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends? I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes, and I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will.
There's only one problem. No one from Sanbreck is there, but I guess dealing with Dion is all you need to do for that. Because if Sanbreck is going to be a thing in the future, it will be up to him.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast.
That's what you get when you have an empire. Once the Emperor is dead, the Empire is basically gone.
The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
All right. Got another thing for my hideout.
Thank you, Uncle.
Gained a level. Which I will always take. Getting good. Heaven's Cloud. Okay. I guess Quentin talks for the people of Sambrack, because Long Lost Wing is basically the only settlement in Sambrack left. Alright. Let's see who else. Talk to whoever that is. Not exactly sure who. I think it was Doris, but I thought I dealt with her. No, it's the trial, guys.
You should have seen him.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much of a pain in the arse, I hope. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
You never do.
They most certainly did not. Ember lost his nerve in the face of a beast of prey, but he didn't lose heart. He pressed on, and he achieved his aim. And is that not what we ask of our scouts?
Indeed it is. Thank you for your honest appraisal, Sid. The fact remains, however, that Ember will not always have a battle-hardened warrior on hand to pluck him from the jaws of peril. All I have gleaned from this trial is that without someone watching his back, Ember is little more than a liability.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to learn, it's true. And this time he was found wanting. But I'd say he's due a second chance, nonetheless. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade, and any mind can conquer its fears. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, or you ain't. And by sniffing out that lock, young Ember here has shown he has a conk and a half. Wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just you wait.
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. Just like someone else we know. And if you ask me...
I mean, Gav's missing an eye, so... It's not like Gav is perfect.
Stop some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon.
Couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking he's been hard done by. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for a day off. Chance would be a fine thing. Back to work.
Sending him in all by himself with no recon
This
is
did not play out as I expected.
also a bad idea. So,
Things really do these days. But that's why we need men like
although
Ember more than ever.
he was in charge of doing recon, he should have reconned and then got the log.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
But, you know, he succeeded. I don't see any reason to tell him to fuck off.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
This is the last one. Every epic starts with a single word, every symphony a single note. This is but the beginning, and forever shall your legend be told, forever shall your legacy be sung.
Here you are. Best of luck out there, Sid.
That's the Kuza Beast. Masterless Marauder has snuck on there. I'll have to go get that eventually before I go on, but there's still a couple quests to turn in here, so I'm going to turn this quest in and then I'll get the other quest.
Vivian. I found it. The book you lost.
You found it. Thank you, Clive. Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized every copy.
I met with one of these executors, and I convinced him to let me keep it. He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collective belief. And that if enough people believe a lie, that lie becomes the truth.
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable. That it can be changed. Provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective is the correct one. As the sad history of the Bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author, rather. She was a heretic, you see. A firebrand and a dissenter. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner of the realm. And by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth so potent that an entire realm trembled at the prospect of its utterance. I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. A stranger to my own species. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, but a gift. And that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth the cost.
Do you still feel that way? That you're not one of us?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the hideaway, I find my thinking somewhat clouded. Perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather closer perspective than I had intended. But the more I study, the more I find value in this perspective. So if you'll permit me, I'd like to continue my work here. Remember, Clive, when enough people believe, belief begets truth. Give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth. Make them believe in you, as I do.
I'll try, Vivian. I'll try.
Scholar's Bonnet. Vivian Ninetale's scholarly headgear. Awarded on her completion of her studies at the University of Canberra. Okay. The alehouse has a quest as well. Did this load another hunt? Yes, it did. The Wailing Banshee. Okay. The Alliance didn't get a quest, so I think that means there's no quest outside. It's just the quests that are here. But first, let's test this scroll that I got. The Lion and the Hare. Is that what it was? No, the Sail of the Forbidden Seas. This was... Another one of the boss musics. Yeah, there's 3 in treasure coffers that I haven't found, and that's it for the music. Ah, Gav has a quest.
You alright?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Eda's baby will be coming soon, and I wanted to make something for it.
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north, families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the way. Yeah, let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new homes, like.
So, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that Eda's due any day now, and I don't know if I'll be ready in time.
I will be right back. I'm back.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, there just might be.
All right then. What exactly are we making?
A good luck charm. But not just any good luck charm.
Not just any.
No. One made from the feather of a silver chocobo. There's naught lucky in all the realm, or so we used to say back home anyway. Thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with their suppliers, but nothing. I'd try and track one down myself, only...
Only the big day is fast approaching. And that's all you need, a feather.
That or the bird whose oar sits attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with traveling traders plying the northern borders.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call. I'll let you know if I find anything.
You're a good friend, Clive. I won't forget this.
Two quests. Jill and Joshua.
If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him.
Harpocrates.
It's usually me making demands of Harpocrates. I wonder what this is about. Joshua, I read your message. You're right. Jill is different. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine, I felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine
Kiss
why.
you on your lips.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her.
Stroke your
now
hair.
more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Lawsman Harpocrates. I received your note.
Ah, yes. I expect you're wondering what this is all about.
You spoke of making amends with Dion, but I can't imagine what for.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once his tutor. This was some years ago, of course, before I joined Sid in his hideaway. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of Oriflamme, and was accordingly invited to the palace to supervise the young prince's education, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, everything an emperor should. History, religion, commerce, government. Alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons, his studies no longer being deemed necessary. I had not expected to meet with him again, least of all here. No,
Yeah, when we once I'm done with this game and we go to move on to Final Fantasy 15, we'll start by watching the movie.
I would not wish to disturb his ruminations with idle words of greeting. Not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know. But as you say, that was Ultima's doing. Surely you can't blame yourself.
When I first met him, it was not guilt, but his people's expectations that weighed heavily upon him. And I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone, until the day he could not bear it any longer. It is one of my greatest regrets that I only ever offered him my wisdom, when what he truly needed was friendship. The blame for Dion's transgressions lies not only on his shoulders, but on mine.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me a wild wyvern tail. Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted inner solace. Fabulists and fraudsters all, of course. But there is oft a seed of truth to be found where even the most outlandish opinions align.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower? And how will I know it?
You have seen cultivated wyvern tails before, I trust. The lily-white blossoms from whose roots the poisonous ink for the brand is distilled. Well, those which grow in the wild differ only in their purple hue. The harsher the environment in which they are raised, the deeper the colour. There is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the strait, where the flowers once grew in abundance. Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might, I can find no likelier location.
It's all right. I'll find you a wyvern tail one way or another.
Thank you, Clive. And please, be safe.
This is the place, but...
I'm
sorry, Clive. There's nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone in the backyard? To the hideaway, then. Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
First the skies.
Yep. What do you want?
Oh, I can make it. Got her on it.
Last you a good while.
And I can make this too.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
And I can make that, although it's not quite as good, but, you know.
It last you a good while.
Cool.
Say what you will.
To what do I owe the honor? What do you want? That it? Fine.
Got her dammering. Dammering.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climes and high elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sambrack.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept the record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilerfeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Fly, Ambrosia.
Someone's brave. The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
See them? I do. The flowers and our friends. What do you see, boy?
Minotaur.
Let's hope this is the last one.
Ba, 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 da, da. Ba, 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 ba,
That was harder than I expected. But found her. It was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on.
Kiss you on your lips.
Let's go.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
chill. There's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you, Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped, so lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
was much good at garlands. But it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure.
Aw.
We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Cool. Might be worth using that. Diamond dot that. Okay. All right.
Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Here they are. Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me. I'm looking for something.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first to mention the bird around here. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo near some gutted hovel not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see. Thank you.
Oh, wants me to continue talking to them, so I will do so.
Anything catch your eye? Much obliged. There you go.
Yeah, I can probably sell everything else, because I have
A
got a
fair
Dammering now.
Is that everything? I wanted
And
one of those.
Ouroboros.
A fair trade. I wanted one of those. Is that everything?
I'll keep those.
I wanted one of those. Is that everything? A fair trade. I wanted one of those.
Alright.
Just because the heavens have gone to wreck and ruin it, don't mean... How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone. Or perhaps a bawdy etching of the Vicerine.
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case, rumours are all you're likely to find. No one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. Didn't bring them much, nor their bows. If any are still out there, I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
You're probably right. Thank you anyway.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes. If you believe the ravings of a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon.
Oh, that's right. I need to.
Good girl. Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change. More tracks. And these look fresh. A chocobo was here. And recently. Perhaps it still is. I don't hear anything. Well, I'll be damned.
Just a different one. I don't think I don't know if ambrosia is actually silver. Might just be white. I don't know. I think that silver chocobos are a specific thing. I think ambrosia is a weird, like, I think she's like an albino yellow chocobo, basically. Like, she's not a normal.
I'm not going to hurt you.
These are like an actual breed of like white silver chocobos that are fully silver. She is something different, but I don't know exactly.
Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
It could also just be quest dumbness because you don't necessarily have ambrosia. Because ambrosia is a optional thing. You don't have to do the quest that you get ambrosia. So it wouldn't be written into any of the quests, unless the quest specifically required it, which this might. Okay, so I just got to turn these quests in.
It was no trouble at all.
Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Crystal's crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long, even if you hadn't have turned up.
It's also possible that...
After all,
No, I mean...
that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
I think that if you're carving bone, you're not whittling, you are scrimshawing.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
Me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is...
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
We did. Aye. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say. I thank you, my lords, for everything.
If there's anything you need, just let us know.
I will.
Fancy a swift off. I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced. Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day, my mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over, what with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. Me whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Gav's just having a little pep talk.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks for, you know.
I know.
One of these days. One of these days, I swear, it's gonna be me who drinks you under the table.
If by under the table you mean retching on my boots half the night, I reckon one of those days was yesterday.
Ha ha, you think you're so funny. But just wait till we crack open the bottle I left in your chambers. That stuff's strong enough to burn the horns off a behemoth.
Sounds like I'll be needing some new boots.
Do you think they'll come back?
Clive, my boy, do you know why? 'Twas not 20 summers past. Your mother. But above all, and so you see, well, don't do anything I wouldn't.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
You did indeed. My dear boy, thank you.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him. Your Highness, would you do me the honor of accompanying me?
No. It is time, then.
No. Only to the shelves. Our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not show my face before him. Not after everything I have done. I have taken countless...
Wear your helmet, then, and put a big smile on it, and endeavor to be the smile.
All because I was weak.
You can hide your face if you want.
I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his
I'm
eyes
pretty sure you can see Origin from all of the places.
I fear that my
in the
resolve might
distance.
falter.
Then that is all the more reason to do it.
It's
Test
pretty
your
cool
resolve.
in that regard.
Prove to yourself, and to him, how strong it truly is.
You are right. I must, at the very least, offer him my gratitude. Very well, then. Take me to him.
Follow me.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. but they do not define it. Just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
Your will is as strong as Bahamut's. You will be okay.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him.
Kiss you on your lips. Should probably...
For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost.
Kiss you. Should probably stop soon.
I shall not forget this.
Give Harpocrates one more little chat. I think I've done all of the quests, so... It'll be the last little chat with Harpocrates before I go into Origin.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tales. I shall plant their seeds, that I might not disappoint His Highness upon his return.
I hope the soul in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard will suit them to a T. When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient. Here.
What's this?
A stolas quill. Or more precisely, my stolas quill. 'Tis said that an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour out onto the page. So consider this my wish for you. That one day you may put down your sword and pick up that pen.
Well, when that day comes, I'll certainly have a lot to write about. Thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place in my chamber.
$3,000. Nice. Gigaflare cooldown. That's probably pretty useful. I might end up swapping all of my accessories out for those cooldowns for the ultimates, but
good morrow
we
to
shall
you, my
see.
friend. I well recall. He truly believed. It will take forgiveness from himself. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
Max.
Quite the find for you today.
Oh, I got a lot of secret entries here. Let's see here. Journal of Moss. Let's see if I learned anything cool. Nope. Nope, not really. We will make you glad. Okay, this tribe who once dwelled in the lands surrounding the lost mother crystal of Zemeckis. This mother crystal communicated directly with Origin, from whence Ultima kept watch on the world from his slumber. And so those people who lived around it had a closer relationship with the creator than most. This is the tribe. You know that big circular crater in Zemeckis? This is the tribe that got wiped out by Ultima. It was they who founded the Circle of Malleus to keep word of their lord and future savior alive. After the tragedy of Zemeckis and the first fall of humanity, few survivors of the children of Zemeckis fled to the outer continent, where they continued to worship their god. So they went to Ash and became the culture that Barnabas came from. This Ultima worshipping culture, the children of Zemeckis. That's interesting. Alright, Obelisk. Ancient technologies of the Ultima Collective set in place upon their advent to Valistea in order to guide the flow of aether towards the mother crystals. That the land's life force might be harvested all the more readily. The obelisks are separate entities to the mother crystals themselves, so the latter's destruction does not affect the former's function. After Ultima cast Primogenesis, the resulting imbalance in the ether made these obelisks glow all the brighter. An incident in which the Fallen launched an attack on the Mother Crystal Zemeckis to claim its power, and in so doing stoked the ire of Ultima himself. In response, the self-proclaimed god destroyed the crystal, leaving behind both a great yawning crater and a cautionary legend. Those within whom sleeps the power of an icon, the dominants are but a stepping stone in the creation of Ultima's perfect vessel, Mythos. When Ultima sowed the seeds of humanity, he imbued those assigned to protect each mother's crystal with an elemental affinity, a power that would amplify over the generations until the icons were eventually emerged. Though the memory of the power remains even after it is absorbed into Mythos, it takes an increasing toll upon the person to summon it. An ancient civilization that thrived some thousands of years before the present day. Though no direct records of the Fallen remain, early legends in the modern corpus speak of them as men of Magitech, and the pinnacle of whose magical technology was the airship, enormous cities that soared through the sky. Comparisons of the ruins of these airships and other ancient structures connected to Ultima reveal slight but marked differences, suggesting the former is but a close copy of the latter. Alas, it seems their pursuit of Ultima's most closely guarded secrets led to their downfall when they sent their fleet against Zemeckis and ushered in the tragedy that saw their civilization's fall. The ancient civilization of the godlike Ultima Collective. Their discovery of magic led them to thrive, but came at a terrible cost. The onset of the Blight. After their cities fell and their people perished, the few survivors fled to the untouched land of Valistea to lay the groundworks for their future revival. The Apodadary beneath Phoenix Gate and the Tower of Reverie in Waloed are both relics of their civilization and far predate those of the Fallen. a mysterious ceramic tablet that stands in the hideaway. Though it closely resembles a relic of the fallen, the way in which it reacts to Clive's presence and urges him to unlock his hidden potential suggests some connection to Ultima. It is likely that this stone, as well as the other towers of similar construction that dot the landscape, were created by the creature before he entered his slumber in order to aid in the perfection of his vessel, Mythos. So should I do those before I
wish to study the
go
tomes?
to Ultima? I don't know. Alright, well, I've completed him.
Did you learn everything you needed?
Yeah, that's it. Now I just have a couple of hunts.
Ifrit? Your resolve didn't falter.
No. Though I continue to be bewildered by fate, that I should meet with my old tutor here, at the very end of the world. I thank you, with all my heart, for giving me this chance.
And I thank you for taking it.
I should like to look upon that flower once more, when I am worthy. I stand ready to leave for Origin at your word. May Grieger go with us.
And see us safely home. Must we away?
Alas. And yet... I await your word.
Brother, I put Father's helm in your chambers. He should be with you when his vision is finally realized.
Thank you, Joshua. For everything.
Don't mention it. Clive. His flame, but... to the end, brother.
Clive. Well, Clive?
I am.
Naturally. I shall... Truth is but a matter of belief. Alas. Godspeed.
If you've got something to ask, ask. I'll be here if you need me.
Alright, I need to get the names of the things that I'm missing. It's these two here. Oh, lovely. A true behemoth king. And wailing banshee. Exact same place. Cool. I think I'm just gonna go kill those if that's okay. And then I won't have to do it in the morning. We can just do the last mission. But where is verdigris? Verdigris. Is that a thing over here? Yeah. I'm just gonna kill these two and then we can go to bed and kiss and stuff. I just want to get these two marks done so that I don't have to do them in the morning. Why? I have not found it. It should be here. It's a behemoth king, so it should be pretty visible. Oh, that might... No, that's not it. No, that's just a couple of sprinters. It's supposed to be like just right up here. Is it like... Oh, there it is. Oh, I see him. Are you okay over there, love? Okay. That's fine. You're about to see a fight, because this thing is going to put up at least a bit of a fight. Yeah, I've been calling all the other ones Behemoth Kings. Well, this is the one that's actually called Behemoth King. This is the actual Behemoth King.
Another of the Royalist guard dogs.
Oh, wow, well, can you see? That's... Okay, that's a good way to start it off. Drink that. But, really, this build is called overpowered for a reason. Oh. Oh, holy shit! I just looked at my life and it was like 80. I managed to live though. Apocalypse. That sounds good. All right. Whew.
No match for you, eh, Torgal?
I think the other one is up there.
Good girl. Run like the wind. I can walk from here.
Ah, it's an Aggie.
Harmon's madness lives on.
Alright. Done all the hunts.
Rest in peace.
Alright, let's just... New missive. Check on the stuff in the hideout. Buy some equipment. But I do not want to go start the last
If you're
mission
gonna buy
right
something,
now.
be quick about it. It'd better all be here. You'll not find a better price than that. It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know. Sorry. Sold out. Finished, are you?
You only ever get one of those. That's kind of silly that it's even a thing. There's probably an achievement for ending the game with one in your inventory. Okay, yep. 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 Yep, okay. Alrighty. I'm just missing one, so it's probably just found it in the last place. It's one little spot on the end. Alright. Okay.